गोपालः वक्ष्यामि यस्य कृपया प्रमेय रत्नावलीं सूक्ष्मं भक्त्या भासेनापि तोषं ददाने धर्माध्यक्षे विश्वनिस्तारि नाम्नि नित्यानंदद्वैत चैतन्य रूपे तत्वे तस्मिन् नित्यम् आस्तां रतिर्नः आनंद तीर्थ नाम सुखमय धाम यतिर्जीयात् संसारार्णवतारिणीं यम इह जनाः कीर्तयन्ति बुधाः भवति विचिन्त्या विदुषां निरवकरा गुरु परंपरा नित्यम एकांतित्वं सीधयति यतोदयति येन हरितोषः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we have completed a few prameyas till now. First thing is introduction, and after that we discussed about Hari Paratarha. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and in that the different Vishnu tattvas and relationship with Lakshmi, relationship with Prakriti, all that was discussed. Then the next thing was Amnaya Ekavedyaha Harihi. This Lord Hari can be known only through the Vedas. So that was the next point that we discussed. Then now we are discussing Satyam Jagat or Vishwasya Satyatvam. And we discussed why it matters to us. Anybody would like to share? We discussed in the last class why the world is real or not real matters to us.
We discussed about the Jagat, if Jagat is mithya or not, and the counter arguments about that.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, we discussed about if the Jagat is mithya or not, and the counter arguments regarding the same.
Yes. Other arguments about what happens if Jagat is mithya. And then next.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So we discussed in that since Lord is Satyam, then there is no need for him to make Jagat Mithya. And other is that through bhakti, since we are in the path of bhakti, so we use the things of this world to please the Lord. And then if it is mithya, then there is how we cannot even reach to God.
Yeah, that relationship cannot be established.
And how these two and otherwise this like if we see sorry, I don't remember that. These two I remember.
Prabhuji had also mentioned Jahad Ajahad Lakshanam, but I don't remember what was it. Can you repeat?
Okay. So there are statements in the Vedas which indicate duality. And there are also statements in the Vedas which indicate singularity, apparently. Okay, so there are statements like Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then Tattvamasi, and so some statements like that which indicate that the world is, I mean, there is no plurality in this world. Just a minute. Okay, so there is no plurality in the world, it's all one. There are statements that indicate that, and there are also statements that indicate duality. Now somebody has to explain why these both type of statements are there. So what these people have done is they have used something called Jahad Lakshanam. What they say is when the direct meaning is not clear, we have to use indirect meaning to explain things. So let us say Devadatta. So we met him when he was small boy in Kashi. After many years, we are going to Kanchi, and he has come there, and we meet him again. So we will say he's the same Devadatta who has come. He was there. He has come here. Actually, the goal is to describe the person. So he, same, all those words no more matter because it's the person who is being talked about. The Devadatta person is being talked about. So similarly, you are describing about the absolute truth. So any descriptions about the absolute truth, like there are those Suparna, there are two birds on a tree, and he is different from the other. All those things no more matter because you are speaking about the absolute truth. So if we take the sometimes this literal meaning when it is not clear, better take the indirect meaning. Let's explain it, and when we explain it, we understand that absolute truth is impersonal. So in this way, they try to derive the impersonal idea, okay, using the indirect meaning. But the argument that is given here is that if the direct meaning cannot explain the things, how can the indirect meaning explain? So indirect meaning is supposed to strengthen the understanding of the direct meaning, not opposite. So if the direct meaning itself you are finding it difficult to follow, then this explanation you will not be able to follow because it's going to go against the original meaning. So that is the idea of jahad ajahad lakshana. Is that clear? Okay. Now here is what is written in the book Path of Perfection by Srila Prabhupada. The material world is like a cinema wherein we see but an imitation or a shadow of the real thing that is existing. The material world is only a shadow, as said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yatra Trisargom Risha. The illusory material world is a combination of matter. In store windows, we often see mannequins, but no salesman thinks that these mannequins are real. He can see that they are imitations. Similarly, whatever we see here may be beautiful, just as a mannequin may be beautiful, but it is simply an imitation of the real beauty found in the spiritual world. Further, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 3rd chapter, 37th verse purport, it is mentioned. Therefore, since the absolute is eternal existence, this material world, being the potency of the absolute, must also be accepted as real. Although the various manifestations of the material world are temporary, thus illusory, the material world should be understood to consist of the bewildering interactions of real elements. The material world is not false in the imaginary sense of the Buddhists and the Mayavadis, who state that, in fact, the material world does not exist outside the mind of the observer. The material world, as a potency of the absolute, has real existence, but the living entity becomes bewildered by the temporary manifestations, foolishly taking them to be permanent. Thus, the material world functions as an illusory potency, causing the living entity to forget the spiritual world, wherein life is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. Because the material world thus bewilders the conditioned soul, it is called illusory. When a magician performs his tricks on stage, that which the audience apparently sees is an illusion, but the magician actually exists, and the hat and the rabbit exist. Although the appearance of the rabbit coming out of a hat is an illusion. Similarly, when the living entity identifies himself as a part and parcel of the material world, thinking, I am American, I am Indian, I am Russian, I am black, I am white, he is bewildered by the magic of the Lord's illusory energy. The conditioned soul must come to understand, I am a pure spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. Now let me stop my useless activities and serve Krishna since I am a part of him. Then he is free from the illusion of Maya. If one artificially tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy by declaring that there is no illusory potency and that the world is false, he merely falls into another illusion created by Maya to keep him in ignorance. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.37 purport. Okay. So we frequently hear that this world is a shadow, this world is an imitation, this world is an illusion, this world is a dream. All these terminologies we frequently hear, correct? Now that creates a confusion as to is this world real? Is this world not real? And this point has bewildered people since so many generations, since so many centuries, it has bewildered people. The Buddhists, what they do is they say that no, everything is shunya, zero. Actually speaking, in reality, nothing exists. Just like the scientists, they explain this. No, there is matter, there is antimatter. Actually, everything is zero, and matter and antimatter just appeared, and two different worlds, and finally they will be eventually merged, and there will be zero again. So in reality, there is zero. No point in getting attached to this world. That's how the Buddhists try to solve the puzzle. Similarly, now the problem, the thing with the approach, this approach is that then there is no dharma, there is no sadhana, there is no ethics, there is no morality. So there is no God, because none of everything can be explained just by science. So all these things are not required anymore. Values and all these things, they are just temporary, they are not required anymore. So that is the conclusion we will naturally draw out of the Buddhist ideology. Now, the Shankaracharya ideology of Advaita is something different. Here, they design it in such a way that Vedas are also accommodated. Ethics and morality and values, all these are accommodated. How is that? So they accept that, okay, the world is not real, but there is something real. So they have gone one step ahead. They say something is real, but world is not real. So how they explain it? Because Vedas say that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the absolute truth is the absolute is truth and knowledge and bliss, eternity. So there is some absolute truth. It is mentioned in the Shastras, and because the Advaitins accept the Shastras, accept the Vedic authority, they definitely do accept that yes, absolute truth is there. But the thing is, this absolute truth is the only thing, and everything else is illusion. So the material world, all the varieties that are manifest in the material world are actually illusion, just like rope is considered an illusion. We consider rope to be a snake, and so it is becomes aropita, it becomes superimposed on the rope, the snake becomes superimposed on the rope. So similarly, this whole world is a superimposition on Brahman, the absolute truth. That is the Shankaracharya's ideology. That's how he solves the problem of conflicting versions of Vedic Shastras. Some places it is given, it is given in such a way that it leads to impersonal conclusions, and elsewhere it is given in a way that it leads to personal conclusions. So now you have to either accept certain Vedas, or you have to accept certain other Vedas, or you have to not accept Vedas at all, or you have to give some reason for that. So this is how Shankaracharya, although did not reject the Shastras, but he gave his conclusion in this way, that it's all illusion. Okay, and because of that, this Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya came into picture. Brahma, the absolute truth, is Satya, and it is the only Satya, it is the only reality. Everything else is false, everything else is Mithya. Actually, Mithya is different from false. This is one technical. If we go to argue with the Mayavadi, and if they actually catch us, we will be in a soup. You have to understand this concept properly. What is Mithya? Thing is, which are the pramanas that Vedantins accept? Yes. Which are the pramanas that are accepted by all Vedantis?
Pramanas,
That
they are accepted.
Yes.
So six are first three, this Sabda, Anuman, and Pratyaksha, then Upman, then I think one is this I Ars Pramana, and other is Arthapatti.
Okay. Anybody else? Vedanta, the followers of Vedanta, which pramanas they accept?
Vedanta Sutras, Smriti Praman.
Yes, Shruti Praman. Then what else? The followers of Vedanta accept only three pramanas. That is Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. Okay. Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana, Shabda. The different schools have different pramanas. The uh, Charvaka has only one pramana, Pratyaksha. The Nayayikas have Pratyaksha, Anumana. They accept Shruti, but they don't accept Aparushya. So like that, different schools have different pramanas. Generally, it is the Vedantins who accept this pramana traya. Okay. Uh, Now, when you see a snake, when you see a rope and you superimpose a snake on it, you get bewildered that it is a snake. So, can you say that it is false? What do you think?
The consideration in our mind cannot be false, but that rope is not a snake. That like the rope is the snake. The what we can say dharana is false, right?
Mhm. Okay, good try. In our mind, at least we are conceiving a snake, otherwise, the fear would not be there. If it was just a rope, we would not get afraid. All the manifestations of fear on seeing a snake are all there in our body, right?
That's why I said like the thought in our mind is true. Yes.
Mhm. Just like you are going on a seashore and you suddenly find silver fallen there. You go near, you identify that it is just a shell. But that few moments, the manifestation of happiness of receiving silver for free. So that is there within us. The experience is there within us. Correct. Anything else?
Can we also say that the previous Satya experiences, like previously, because I have seen silver, I'm imposing it. So that Satya I'm imposing on the Mithya consideration like that.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm
good
not.
try. Yes. See, we follow three pramanas, Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda. And for that moment, at least snake is Pratyaksha for us. Or the shell is Pratyaksha for us. For that moment. So silver is Pratyaksha for us. So because it is Pratyaksha, is it not a true pramana? For a moment. But otherwise,
In that sense, it is
we have to
temporary,
reject
Prabhu, na?
Pratyaksha as a pramana. Otherwise, we have to reject Pratyaksha as a genuine pramana.
It is temporary for that time being. That experience is
Yeah,
there.
but is it true? That is the question.
Brahma can be there too. Our eyes can get Brahma, so we cannot say. There are two types of one is Brahma and one Brahma. So in that sense, it is Brahma.
Mhm. You are getting near. Surya Prabhu, you are saying something? No. Okay. Anybody else? See, the Mayavadi argument is that if it is true, then the knowledge would not have undergone a break. If it was really silver, we would not later on realize that it is just a shell. If it was really a snake, we would not have realized that it is just a rope. That knowledge is coming to an end, correct? So that way it is not true. Okay. At the same time, it is manifest to our senses. And because it is manifest to our senses, you cannot say it is false. Otherwise, you have to reject Pratyaksha Pramana. Pratyaksha is a genuine Pramana also. So, you have to say. So, Sat Asat Vilakshanatvam Mithyatvam, according to them, it is neither true nor false, but a third state called Mithya. And this Mithya is so magical that it appears. Satyam Chet na Pratiyet, it would not appear. This appears, but still it ends. So, this Mithya is a special state which is neither true nor false. So, this is the explanation that is given by Padmapada, one of the disciples of Shankaracharya.
Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt, but Prabhuji, you said a sentence that the knowledge is coming to an end. But Prabhuji, there was no knowledge at all, right? Like the snake, there is no knowledge of the snake because there is no snake. So how can we
No,
say
but
that?
they argue that you are seeing it. Actually, that is the answer. That is the response to this. But their argument, you first understand. Their argument is that you are seeing it. And what is seeing, you believe it or no? Do you believe in Pratyaksha Pramana or no? So, because you believe in, you accept Pratyaksha as a Pramana, you must accept, you cannot say that it is false at all.
Yes, but it is the Pratyaksha Pramana only works in some cases and not all cases.
No. Why would Pratyaksha Pramana not work in all cases?
Like now we got illusioned due to the examples which you said.
Yeah, this is the point we should understand clearly. Many of our devotees get confused on this point. Pratyaksha works always, but the pramana is not faulty. The fault is in me that I am getting illusion. Suppose somebody has cataract, he is not able to see things properly. So, because of his having cataract, the knowledge is revealing itself, the object is revealing itself, but I am not able to grasp. Because I have cataract, I am not able to grasp. I have to rectify my eyes. That way, I will be able to grasp. Similarly, with Anumana Pramana and Shabda Pramana also. Actually, Atma, Paramatma, everything it is revealing itself through the Shastras. I am not able to grasp because of my limitations, because of my lack of faith, because of my lack of knowledge, because of my lack of hearing from spiritual masters. So many reasons, I am not able to grasp it. So the fault is with the recipient. Fault is not with the Pramana itself.
But Prabhuji, every human here has a fault in their senses and has a limit in their senses. So Pratyaksha Praman means the Praman which we are getting through our senses, right?
Correct. So the Pratyaksha, everyone has limitation, agreed. But the Pramana itself is not wrong. Otherwise, what we would see, we would consider doubt everything. When I see a mobile phone, I know that it's a mobile phone. When I see this document, I know that it's document. So there are definitely many things in the world we do accept based on Pratyaksha. It's not that we reject Pratyaksha altogether. We definitely do accept many things which are based on Pratyaksha. Things which are illusory, which cause confusion, that requires some help of other pramanas. That is the approach. Now, is that clear, Mataji?
Yes, yes, got it. Thank you.
Uh,
Now, yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, but there might be some limitation for conclusion for Pratyaksha Pramana, like every defective thing, like if people having different color glasses and they will say that this is this color only and they will argue. So the knowledge will go on refinement further and
No, no,
further.
I
There will
agree,
be some
but
limitation.
is it a limitation of the pramana itself or the limitation of the person who is perceiving it?
Yeah, to make that it's like the person is arguing that is how much level it's a pratyaksha pramana, like if it is defective
See,
with defective senses, then how it can
that
be
is the that
considered
is
as
the point.
pramana.
That is the point. If my eyes were good, it would not, just like they have an argument in the court, and person has committed a murder. There is a discussion going on. Now he says that I have seen him in a different place at that moment, 500 kilometers away. I have seen. So the judge definitely will accept that scene. Now you say we are spiritual. Even in spiritual circles also, when we discuss, Prabhuji, I saw you in the market yesterday. I saw you in the market yesterday. What were you doing there? So definitely seeing, we do accept as a pramana. We don't reject pratyaksha as a pramana. This is one very fundamental thing we should understand. Only thing is, pratyaksha doesn't work for atindriya, things beyond our senses, like dharma, atma, paramatma, akasha, things beyond our perception. The pratyaksha doesn't work. That is the limitation. Whereas things which it can perceive, it works properly. And if there is no illusion, it works properly. This is one point we should understand clearly.
Yeah, then arguments will be go on defeating each other like that.
What will be the arguments in that case?
Means two people will argue on two different contradictory concepts that this is true, no, this is true. So they will go on bringing more
That,
pramanas
yes. For that, under those circumstances, the solution is required. I agree. And for solution, some other pramana is required, anumana is required, or shabda is required. I agree. But here the central theme is they are arguing differently because of fault in them, not fault in the concept of pramana itself.
And then pratyaksha pramana will go on changing also, evolving also as per the defect will overcome like that, go on.
Yes, if you go near, then the shell will be, silver will be seen as a shell. Okay. So, actually speaking, you were always seeing, this is the solution to this thing. You were always seeing a shell only. It was your eyes who was creating an illusion that it was a silver. The illusion was created in you because of so many things. Either you had seen silver somewhere else, or you had seen something somewhere else. You were thinking something in your mind. You were talking with somebody, and in that mood you saw that. So many reasons may be there, or your eyes may have cataract or some other problem. There is something called kacharoga, with which everything appears shining. There were so many reasons due to which that illusion was created temporarily. Actually speaking, pratyaksha was showing you a shell only, but it was your superimposition that caused the wrong idea for the moment. Okay, now why I'm stressing this, because later on while arguing against Mayavada, Madhacharya uses pratyaksha pramana also. The world is having so much, the world is having duality, the world is having bheda, it is having difference. So pratyaksha is giving bheda, and some shrutis give bheda, some shrutis give abheda, apparently. So now which has more pramanas, which has more votes? More votes are for pratyaksha plus shruti, which are giving bheda. So that way also he argues. So considering all that, we should definitely not undermine pratyaksha altogether. It doesn't work when there are certain limitations. That is the idea.
Understood, Pravati. But Shruti is saying something, and Shruti is more effective and more defect free. So why not accept that
Agreed.
only as ultimate?
Agreed. Agreed. But when Shruti has two statements, one is Dvaita and one is Advaita, then which one to accept? At that time, Pratyaksha is Dvaita. So then you get two votes. One is Pratyaksha and one is Shruti. Two votes for Dvaita. And for Advaita, you get only one vote. That is the Shruti. So anyway, so it's a deep subject. We will discuss that sometime. But I'm just giving you a hint that Pratyaksha cannot be neglected altogether. Okay.
Yeah, okay, understood.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu. So, can we understand in this way that any sense perception, since it is an experience, in that sense we accept it, but it can be a wrong experience and it can be a right experience based
Anything
on
can
the
be wrong.
different situation.
Even the Shabda Pramana can be wrong if the speaker is wrong, or if the listener is not listening in the right attitude. The Shabda itself will not not be wrong. But if the people are a problem, then even Shabda can also have that defect.
So here, definition of Pratyaksh Pramana is the experience from the senses, not the knowledge from the senses. Correct
Yes.
knowledge from the senses.
No, Pratyaksha Pramana means knowledge only. That is not experience. Pramana means there is knowledge transfer. Okay, whether that knowledge transfer, your illusion is blocking it, then that is your problem. So anyway, the point here is that very beautiful example is given. A magician is there. He does beautiful magic. He opens his hat, and when he opens his hat, suddenly a rabbit comes out of it, or a pigeon comes out of it. So these are magics we have seen in our childhood. Now in the world of AI, it does all the magic. But actual magicians we have all seen, right? How many of you have seen?
Yes.
So some people are blessed with that talent. They can do magic. They can show magic to people because of their sampuru janma punya. So the thing is, rabbit is real, hat is real, magician is real, but he's creating the rabbit from the hat is not real. He's using some tricks to fool us and create that rabbit. So that rabbit was it born in the hat? That is not. So similarly, material world is real. All the objects of the material world are real. To think that it permanently belongs to me, that is not real. That is illusory. Okay. So that is why it is the words like illusory, the words like dream, all these things are used. All these things are used just to indicate that this point that it is temporary, it is not a permanent, and it is not for my enjoyment. These two things we should get detached from. We should get detached from this world thinking that it is mine. It is, I am an Indian, I am American, I am Russian, I am boy, I am girl, I am man, I am woman. All these upadhis, designations, they are temporary. And to get this knowledge, such examples are used that this world is dream, it is a reflection, it is not a truth. All these things are used just to drive this point, not with the understanding that the world is mithya or illusion in itself and there is no reality in this. Is this point understood?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Okay, any doubts in this? I will go through some Shruti Pramanas and some Shastra Pramanas to establish this. Okay, because that is what our original contention is. We are going to establish everything based on Shruti, based on Shastras. It is mentioned in the Vishnu Purana, Ekadesha Stitasyagnir Jyotsna Vistarini Yatha Parasya Brahmana Shaktis Tathedam Akilam Jagat. Just as its light spreads in all directions, although fire is situated in one place, similarly, this whole universe is the energy of the Supreme Lord. So everything is the energy of Supreme Lord. That way it is real. Because if Lord is real, his energy also will be real. So that way everything is, this material world is real, because just like the sun spreads its rays everywhere, and or the fire spreads its brightness everywhere. So similarly, the Lord has spread his energies everywhere. So similarly, in the Ishavasya Upanishad, it is mentioned, Saparyagat Shukram Akayam Avranam Astaviryam Shuddham Apapa Vidyam Kavir Manishi Paribhu Swayambur Yathatatyato Arthan Vedadha Chashwatibhyas Samabhyah. The Supreme Lord has pervaded all directions. He is effulgent, devoid of subtle and gross bodies, undecaying, free from passion and free from karma. That omniscient, wise, and causeless Supreme Lord, the subjugator of illusion, truly creates the material elements through everlasting years. See, material elements are always getting created day by day. I mean, transforming from one element to another, there is a transformation, nothing new comes. But the transformation and new things are, a pot is coming, a cloth is coming, a mobile phone is coming, a bag is coming. So many things are getting manufactured and old things are getting decayed and lost. Now, this whole transition is supervised by the Supreme Lord. So, that is the specialty. So, the world is real, specialized, it is supervised by the Supreme Lord, but because of its illusory nature, it keeps on getting destroyed, and it keeps on teaching people a lesson that not to get attached to this world. The whole purpose of all this knowledge is this, that we should not get attached to this world, because one day it's all going to be destroyed. So that is why the jnana, the more we get into knowledge, we will get virakti, we'll get detachment from this world, and then we will become more close to the Lord, because he is the ultimate real and permanent. That is the understanding here. So it's not just some mental or intellectual exercise. This is a very good opportunity to develop that attachment to reality, the only real thing. Only real in the sense, the thing which is not destruct, which doesn't get destroyed. तद्धाम परमम न तद् भाषयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावका यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमम. You need not come back here once you go there. So that eternal place we should aim for. That is the knowledge that we are getting through this process. Okay. In the Vishnu Purana 1.22.60, it says, Tad etat aksharam nityam jagan muni varakhilam avirbhava tirobhava janmanasha vikalpavat. O best of the sages, this whole universe is eternal and imperishable, and it has alternate appearances and disappearances, births and deaths. So, this universe has the appearances and disappearances, births and deaths. Why these two words are used? The two words are used because in the context of the Lord, there is appearance and disappearance. In the context of everyone else, there is birth and death. Those who are getting the material bodies, those who are getting the temporary bodies, and those objects which are temporarily formed in this world, there is birth and there is death of them. Whereas when it comes to Supreme Lord, he doesn't die. And how he doesn't die? Through the Vishesha Rupa that we discussed. So he just appears and then he disappears. And when he disappears, he appears somewhere else. Just like the sun disappears. Sun has disappeared now from India. But there in USA, sun is risen and everyone is able to see the sun. I don't know if they go through the high-rise buildings, they will be able to see. So, but yes, so the sun is visible there, and here the sun has already set. So, like that, the appearance and disappearance of the Lord, he is set here, he has appeared somewhere else, and is performing his pastime somewhere else. So, like that, it is for Ishvara. Whereas for Jiva, it is for those who get material bodies, and those all the material objects of this universe, they are perishable and they are again coming into existence. So that is the concept we have to understand here. Okay, the Supreme Lord is real, his reflection is real, Prajapati is real, all beings are born from the real, and therefore the universe composed of material elements and living entities is real. So Urdhva Adashaka Ashwatam Prahuravyam. So through that we understand that material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. But when the material world, when the spiritual reflects in the material, that matter doesn't become false. That reflection is also real. That is a speciality of the absolute truth. When the absolute truth reflects here, this world is also real only. So that is the understanding we have to get from this. Okay, so never to be understood that this universe is false. Okay, now there is a problem. There is a Shruti Vakya which goes like this: Atma va idam eka evagra asit. Before the creation, the Supreme Soul alone was all this. Before the creation, there was only one absolute truth, and that was alone. That is the statement here. So, how do we understand this? Okay, so he gives a beautiful example for this. He says that we see a bird flying in here. And the bird is very beautiful, good to look at, flies. Eventually, it goes into the forest. Once it goes into the forest, we no more are having the privileges to identify the bird. When it is flying, we identify bird. But once it goes into the forest, then when somebody points a finger to that, he will say forest, but he will not say bird. So similarly, the material world is the energy of the Supreme Lord. And when after destruction is there, everything merges into the absolute truth, then the absolute truth alone remains. But the energy, it has become a part of the absolute truth. And then during the manifestation, again it comes out and a new creation happens. So that energy being a part of the Lord, it becomes antarbhava, it becomes merged into the Lord for the next for wait in order to wait for the new creation where again it's manifest. So that is how we should understand this. So with this we finish this section of Satyam Jagat. Not much was there compared to other sections. Okay, I will give a short introduction of the next topic, Binna Jivagana, but before that, any questions associated with that, you can please ask. Yes. Yes.
So if the world get merged into the Lord, then how he remain uh, in the position as he was earlier?
See, when the bird enters the forest, it is not that the bird loses its identity after entering the forest. It is still somewhere or sitting on the tree, hatching its egg or taking care of its children or eating something. So it is still doing some business. But for externally, to us, it appears that it has merged in. So similarly, when the after destruction, when everything enters the Lord, it's not that it becomes Lord. It is just takes some shelter at some place where the Lord has given within himself. The absolute truth has given some shelter within itself. So that facility will be there. So it is not that it loses its identity.
No, bro, not about losing its identity. Like some bird go into the forest, then forest has some change. It has now what is what first. Now it has one plus one extra word in its content. So
Yeah,
when we
but the
say
Supreme
that Lord
Lord
is
is already Purna. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachate, Purnasya, Purnam, Adaya, Purnam, Eva Visheshat. So when Purna, when the infinite has something added to it, nothing changes. It's still infinite. When some infinite is subtracted from it, still it remains infinite. So nothing changes. So with the Lord, there is no change irrespective of whatever enters inside him. Is infinite.
not in terms of infinite, though. In terms of its gunas, like this word is Jada na bro. So Lord is Chaitanya.
No, it
So
will
when
be
we
in
say that Lord is free from
Anurupam. It will be in the atomic form, which is very subtle. So because everything is a part of absolute truth, and this is also energy of the Lord, it doesn't matter for him. He will make have it someplace. So because this jada is also a shakti of the Lord only. It is also an energy of the Lord, Bahiranga Shakti. So because of that, it is already a part of the Lord, just that it is sheltered at a particular place in a manifest state. Otherwise, it is in the unmanifested. That is the idea.
okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? We will start with the next topic. So we finished with Hariparataraha Satyam Jagat Tattvato Bhedaha and Amnaya Ekavedyaha Harihi. Now, Bhinna Jivagana. Okay. Now, this is a very important topic to understand because actually our Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. It can be bewildering that Nirvisheshavad is in India. Shunyavada is also one school in India, Buddhist school, the Shankara school. All these people are fighting in India. So where is the Buddhist philosophy in the West, and where are Shankaracharya followers in the West? So what he has gone to deliver the Shankaracharya followers in the West, or the Buddhists, they don't even exist there. No, but one thing is that all these schools of thought are eternally existing. Even before Shankaracharya, in some form or the other, this existed. Buddhist ideology also existed in some form or the other. All the different schools of thought, they always exist in human society. Just that sometimes some become prominent, sometimes something else becomes prominent. This is the first thing. Second thing is, the modern society has taken shelter of this impersonalistic idea, and that has led to uh, destruction of variety. Everyone is the same. You should treat all of them equal. While it is a good sentiment that everyone should be treated equal, but the reality is you cannot implement it. Can you give a prime minister job to a sweeper, or can you give a in a company the security, the next day he will be the CEO? It is not a practical thing. Why it is not a practical thing? Because in reality, differences will be there. Differences are a part of this world. It is a reality which we must accept. Okay, Binna Jivaganha, the Bheda is always there. Basically, Madhvacharya speaks about Panchabheda, five differences. The difference between Ishvara and Jiva, and Ishvara and Jada, Jiva and Jada, between two Jivas and between two Jadas. So there will always be a difference. Means the Jivas are always different from the Supreme Lord. They cannot become God themselves. So similarly, material world is always different from the Lord. It can never become God. Okay, because material world decays. Similarly, between matter and spirit, there is always a difference. What is the difference? The spirit operates the matter. Matter is dead. It doesn't have any life in it. Whereas the spirit, once it comes in contact with matter, then things start moving. In a body, when there is soul, the body is moving. When the soul leaves, the body is dead. You just have to burn it or bury it or finish it up. So similarly, if you keep some things in the house and lock it for so many years, then all the movement that happens is because of the rats there or the lizards there or the cockroaches there. If these would not exist, practically nothing would move in the house. Let's say you go to a planet where people are not there or living entities are not there. That cannot happen. Life is there everywhere. But you reach a state where place where something is not there, then the thing will be kept just like that. It will not even move an inch. The fact that this jada or dead matter is moving or operating is that some intelligent conscious entity is working on it. And because a conscious entity is working on it, it moves or it operates or it changes. So that is the difference between jada and jiva. Now, similarly, between two jivas, no two jivas are the same because of their past karma, because of their swarupa, because of their swabhava. Two jivas are always going to be different. And similarly, two jada padarthas, they are always, the stone can never be a paper, oil can never be ice, or fire can never be water. So they are always going to be different. So the Bheda is always there. Here the emphasis is given on this Vishnu Jivatva Bheda, because that is the primary contention, that are we the absolute truth? Okay, so are we the supreme absolute truth? That is the matter of contention. So there are Shruti Pramanas which speak in this regard, there are Shruti Pramanas which speak in that regard, and that is where all the confusion is there. So now there is a Shruti Pramana which says Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakaya. Here the idea is that two birds are there, and Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakaya Samanam Vriksham Parishashvajate Tayoho Anya Pippalam Vadvatya Anashnan Anyo Abhichakashiti. There are two birds sitting on a tree, and one bird is tasting the different fruits of the tree. One fruit is sour, one fruit is bitter, one fruit is sweet, one fruit is rotten, one fruit is very fresh. So many different varieties of fruits this bird is tasting. The other one is sitting hungry, anashnan, sitting without food, it's mentioned. So what are we speaking about? One is Jivatma who is enjoying and suffering the different fruits of material enjoyment of this material world. Other one is just watching. How long you will enjoy, how long you will suffer. Let's see. Someday you will put a break to this and come to me. So that is the thing. Living entities are bewildered by Maya, and that is why they are suffering in this world. So the living entities can never become equal to the Supreme Law. There will always be the living entities will always be subservient and under the control of the Supreme Lord. They can never become God, they can never reach. The whole material plan is to become God. We are here in this world because we want to lord it over nature. We want to become God. And when all these people who want to become God are together, then what will happen? The result will be fight. So that is why everyone is trying to fight to become God. You may, one may try in a smaller way, one may try in a bigger way, one may try to become God of cricket, one may try to become God of football, one may try to become God of a particular country, a particular state, one may try to become God of the world, one may try to become God in IT, one may try in industrial production, in manufacturing. So everywhere the idea is we are trying to become the topmost. But the reality is that the topmost position is already held by God. We cannot do anything. So that Supreme Lord has already held that topmost position and we cannot reach there. The day this knowledge comes and it's properly realized, all our illusions will break and we will be happy. All our problems are because of one misunderstanding that we want to become God. The day this misunderstanding is over, that is when that person is liberated, he is free from everything. So that is where this major contention is there, that Jiva and Ishvara, are they same or are they different? Okay. So now going ahead, we will see this different pramanas, Shastra pramanas, and also different arguments associated with that. Okay. This was a short introduction to this topic. Any questions? Any questions in this regard? The topics I had now, this topic is going to take some time because the different arguments of why Jiva Ishvara are one is discussed, and we have dealt with them in Vedanta Samantaka. Mostly repetition, there may be one or two extra. So the different arguments as to why Jiva and Ishvara are thought by some as same, and the refutations given to that. So that will be mostly the discussion. After that, uh, what is that? Hare Ranuchara and Nichocha Bhavangata, Mukti Naija Sukhanubhuti. So these three topics are there. Amala Bhaktishta Sadhanam is again a little elaborate. Other three are small. So the topics that are coming up ahead are not so much. Yes. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Prabhu.
Yes, Tanan.
So how those who are Advaitiyans, they explain or understand this Shruti Vakya Do Supana Saja Sakhaya Samanavichi Parishasya.
Dvasaparna Sayuja Sakaya, you have to accept, right, that there are two words. So they say, yes, it's called Vyavaharika Satya. They have different sattas, Paramarthika Satta, Vyavaharika Satta. They are different levels of reality, they say. The reality during the dealings of the material world, that is where they are two. Whereas when the illusion is over, then there is one. So in reality, while dealing with the world, we definitely accept pratyaksha, we definitely accept all these things, we also eat food, we also talk to people, we need friends, we need all these things. But once we reach that level, then we understand that there is everything one. So that is how they explain it.
Okay, Prabhu.
Anything else? Any other question? Is it clear? Is the point clear? Clear till now? Yes. No.
Yes, Prabhu.
How about others? You are clear with this?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, okay then. So we will close for today. Tomorrow we will again continue with this section. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। बलदेव विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।